Hello everyone, my name is Joshua and this is the 173rd video on my video journal series. Today's date is Friday the 31st of July 2026. How's everyone been? I've been pretty good, thank you. And today I went into the city, I went into my university, did some work, then I took some pictures and videos for my Sydney Work in Progress project. And yeah, it was a pretty good day in the city, very sunny, good weather. And I went near Town Hall, and there's this mini plaza near Town Hall. It's called Town Hall Square. Lots of seating and trees and whatnot. And there's a lot of pigeons. Yes, I've been there before, and I've shot like video of all the pigeons near Town Hall. But today there was like a whole flock of them. Not even kidding. There must have been like over 100, and they're all in like these large groups just like attacking a piece of bread or whatnot. And obviously, I took some video. In fact, I might post it to my main channel later. But yeah, pigeons. I like pigeons, even though sometimes I duck when they fly towards me because I've got a bit of a phobia when it comes to birds swooping over my head. I remember one time, eating fast food on like a junk bench, and this I think it was a bin chicken or seagull like swooped over my head, and I was just like, oh, you know what? That's it, all right? I have a phobia of birds swooping over my head. And if you live in Australia, you know what I'm talking about, magpies and all that swooping season. If you're a cyclist, you'll know. But yeah, I don't like birds swooping over my face, so that's why I maintain a distance between me and the flock of birds. And I like to take pictures and photos and video, but I like to keep my distance. And yeah, like I don't know what it was. It might have been a piece of bread. It might have just been a pack of chips or whatnot. It was like the crowd of birds was so dense. The crowd of pigeons that I couldn't even see what they were like fighting over. And I remember there was like a few people who tried to like rush into the crowd of pigeons, and they all like flew away. And I was like, don't do that, because they're all going like different directions. They're gonna swoop towards me. Um, but I guess some people just find that funny. But I like to take um, you know um, photos and videos of animals uninterrupted, basically, in their natural habitat. And I don't know why pigeons always crowd near the area of Town Hall, which is basically like the heart of the Sydney CBD or our downtown. Um, Maybe I don't know because there's a lot of trees around there. Maybe they nest in the trees. Maybe they tell other pigeons, "Hey, this is a good spot, to get some food or to hang out." Like Town Hall is a busy area for not only people to hang out, but only pigeons as well. And I've obviously been to other countries where I've seen like a flock of pigeons all gathered together, but not like what I saw today. I think today was like perhaps like the you know the biggest example I've seen of pigeons all in one place, all in like a crowded place. And obviously, I guess I'm no like expert when it comes to this. I'm no like scientist or um, you know I guess biologist or whoever studies the behavior of animals or living things. Um, I guess biologist. I mean, it's a study of living things. I don't know if it's the first thing that comes to mind when you, I guess, study animals. I think there's a better term for studying animals than biologist, because when you're thinking of biology, you must be thinking of like plants, bacteria. I guess you can also think of animals as well, but you know, biology encompasses so many different things that it's almost sort of like a vague term, just the study of living things, anything that is living. Um, and I think obviously I find the behavior of animals such as pigeons very fascinating. I'm like, how do they sort of pass down this sort of knowledge of, hey, this is a good place to hang out with the other pigeons? Do they just simply follow each other, or is there some sort of um, like complex thing that we don't know about? And obviously we won't know about. Animals obviously communicate to each other in very varying different ways. Um, and with pigeons, I guess it's more of a I see, I do sort of thing, unless I might be mistaken. If you know the exact way pigeons communicate, then comment down below instead of going like woo or like whatever sounds pigeons make. I was about to make an owl sound, and I know I'm going to get a lot of angry comments saying that's not what a pigeon makes. So yeah, I'm gonna rest it there. But yeah, and obviously they put signs around town hall squares saying don't feed the pigeons because you're gonna disrupt their way of life, and you might poison them, or you might get them um, you know uh, reliant on you feeding them rather than them looking for food sources. And that's another thing. How do I guess pigeons locate their food source? Do they have like yet again what I said about communication? I've always wondered how do pigeons sort of alert other pigeons where food is? How do they hunt for food? I guess it's all in their brain, but yet again, pigeons have very small brains. Come to think about it, but yeah, they do pack a punch. That's something else I find interesting with just wildlife in general or any animal. How do they locate their food source? Do they just get other animals? I see, I do. They just see where other animals get their food source from, or do they instinctively know how to? We know us humans how to get our food. We're taught to go to the supermarket, go to a restaurant. Um, Animals obviously don't have restaurants. They have the sort of alleyways next to restaurants where they can feed on the trash and whatnot. But yeah, I just find that sort of thing fascinating. I know it may sound stupid and very obviously uh, you know that's how animals get their food sort of thing. But just even looking at a pigeon, makes me think, wow, it's just like life itself, gets me contemplating about life. I'm that old man on the park bench looking at all the pigeons. I'm like, someday I can be a pigeon, wish I can be a pigeon, no responsibilities, no taxes, no bills. But at the same time, I think, oh yeah, pigeons, they only have like a lifespan of what, not even 20 years. Um, Very short lifespan, and obviously, you can't do many things as a pigeon. You can most likely just peck on a few crumbs and hang around parks all day. But yeah, it's just I'm not like an animal guy or anything. I'm not like a Steve Irwin, may God rest upon his soul. Australian legend. Um, I'm not, I guess, his sort of level. I don't think anyone could be his level. He's already, at the top, and he always be in my heart. But I think watching his shows, even like some clips of him on YouTube, just see the way he communicates with animals. Even though they're like things like crocodiles, a lot more intense than a pigeon. It makes me sort of respect life, and obviously respect um, the animals around us. I wouldn't go around charging in a horde of pigeons. Um, I'll maintain my distance. I won't go around you know trying to cause havoc on creatures or pigeons. In fact, there's a lot of pigeons with a missing leg. I'm pretty sure the um, average London pigeon only has 1.5 legs because so many of them are missing like a leg. Um, it's a very fascinating statistic, but I think instead of I guess trying to play around with pigeons, we should respect life and it's not like you can catch a pigeon. No matter how sneaky you are, there's no way unless you got like maybe a what you call it, unless you got like a contraption or a sort of thing to actually trap the pigeon in. Um, you can't grab one with your bare hands, is what I'm saying, unless you're like really built different. I don't know. Not that you should, obviously. Um, and obviously, I, I guess, where are pigeons native to, actually? That's another good question. Were pigeons actually introduced as a um, as a species here in Australia. I don't think pigeons are native to Australia. I might have to do research on that. Because you see pigeons in many places around the world, and you think, how did they evolve? Obviously pigeons, they're capable of flying. They can migrate, but I'm not sure how far they can migrate. Obviously, you see pigeons in almost like every major city. New York, London, and all of that. And here in Sydney, you also see pigeons, but it makes me think, where did they come from? Obviously this can all be answered in a Google search, but yeah, I get like a lot of questions whenever I film these videos. There's questions that pop into my mind, and I might seem dumb for asking these questions, but I always like to say there are no dumb questions in life. Um, you know, it's like why here in Australia we have crocodiles and elsewhere they got alligators, except if you live in Florida where they got crocodiles and alligators, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. And really, I can go on and on about, pigeons, and I've added, you know, to that point, I guess, animals in general, what I find fascinating about animals and how, you know, they hunt for food, or what their patterns are, or, their pattern of migration, pattern for hunting down food, pattern of social life and behavior. All that just really got me, thinking once I just looked at a huge flock of pigeons today at town hall. And it's been I guess it's been a while since I've seen a huge flock of pigeons together. Um, and obviously, I've seen pigeons in New Zealand before. In Japan, though, I actually didn't see a whole lot of pigeons there. I don't think I saw any pigeons that I can remember in Japan. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but I remember seeing like these very tiny birds when I was walking around near Tokyo. I took a picture of one. I should most probably identify what species it is. It sort of looked like a small robin thing. Yet again, I'm no expert when it comes to this, but even when you go to cities around the world and you see all the birds flying around, some of them might be, seagulls, pigeons. Here in Australia, we got a species of bird uh, that's colloquially named the bin chicken. I actually forget its real name, but these birds with very long and bendy beaks that hang around near bins and eat trash and food. They're pretty much an Australian icon. Um, I guess in other countries they also have their own sort of uh, like bird that just pretty much eats anything. I know in most countries it's seagulls, but yeah, again, it differs, where you are from the world. And I know this is a very boring video, me talking about birds and pigeons, but it's something that I guess just popped into my mind today. And I'll always be there to take photos and videos of large crowds of pigeons, because I just find that thing very fascinating, and it's not something you really see every day, and you really wonder what are they fighting for. Anyway, I'm gonna close that book because I bet most of you are like half asleep right now. So I'm gonna close that book, keep it shut, and what else did I do today? Oh yeah, I went out to a pub with my friends. I didn't grab anything to drink though. I just grabbed like a pizza, and obviously it was like a last minute thing. I saw that they're doing it, and I was like, all right, I'll come along. And I know I should have maybe began the video by saying I went to a pub with mates, but yet again, no, the pigeon stuff came first. That's what I saw before I went to the pub. So yeah, I'll count that as valid. I'll count that as appropriate, me to go on a whole rant or talk about pigeons. But I really closed that book, right? Can't bring it up anymore. Yeah, so it was a pretty nice pub, and obviously, I got to speak with some new people and some of my old friends. And obviously, I had to leave a little bit early because I have to record this video journal series. Because whenever I'm out and about, I always have to keep track of time and make sure I'm home at a specific time to record this. Or at least, be on, public transport, train, bus, and be able to, like, upload it to YouTube. So, yeah. And obviously, I don't really have much planned for the rest of the week. Maybe I'll be doing something with someone on Saturday or Sunday. I haven't really confirmed it with them. Um, but yeah, it will just be me chilling at home, doing some work. Pretty much same old, same old. And obviously, I'm trying to upload more videos onto my main channel. You may have seen that I've been uploading more and more videos. I noticed that my short form content does pretty well on my channel, obviously. Not quite YouTube shorts, but me making like short YouTube videos, like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, in a standard landscape format, not portrait. And I've been thinking about getting to YouTube shorts because they're more lucrative, I guess. But at the same time, I feel like most of my videos rely on the landscape format, being able to see everything in shot and all the sounds and people walking by. And I think each to their own. I guess landscape and portrait both have different effects, but I think my videos really work well in landscape, but maybe in like the short format, maybe like 3 minutes, and having it be focused on a single area of Sydney instead of like multiple areas. So if I just made a video on Circular Quay or a video of me riding a ferry through Sydney Harbour in one like continuous shot, I think those videos do a lot better. And those are videos that I've actually uploaded on my channel, and they seem to be doing pretty well. So yeah, I'd like to hear, I guess, your comments on, I guess, what videos you'd like to see on my main channel as well as this channel. Do you have any recommendations of what I should do in and around Sydney? You got any like good, I don't know, activity suggestions, or I guess like any book or film, television show, video game? I'm trying to keep my life interesting so that I can make my videos a little bit more appealing. I know it's supposed to be an archive of me, but yet again, I want to be able to do archivey. Um, I want to be able to do good archive work. I want to be able to do interesting things in my life instead of me talking on the couch going like, yeah, I had a can of baked beans today. It was very good. I'll give it maybe like an 8 out of 10 sort of thing. But yeah, to really wrap things up, I like pigeons. I like taking videos of pigeons, and today was a pretty good day for that. Obviously, I hanged around with some of my friends today. And it's a Friday night, spirits are high, and yeah, it was a lovely day here in Sydney, and hopefully tomorrow it will also be a lovely day. Um, I'll be inside most of the day. It's nice to at least stretch your legs, read a book outside every so often. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say, and I'll catch you all next time. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.